Simon Robinson here with John Paul Broeders, Chairman of Vopak, and I'd just like to talk to you a little bit about your plans for the developing world.
We think the developing world will still be Asia, some areas, so China plays an important role. We constantly have our team of business developers busy there to really fill in the blank spots and look at new chemical parks which will be set up in China to be able to supply our services. But we also look at countries like Vietnam, Indonesia, which is opening up on the petroleum side as well as on the chemical side, where more and more demand is there. And Vietnam, which we think is a very important country for the future and developing in a quick pace. So that's why we set up our terminal. And we're looking very much in the Middle East as a production center to supply our roles in new chemical parks which are being set up. But you also see that there's a lot of chemical demand already. So it's not only production, but it's also demand in all the construction which takes place. So we also look at import terminals there.
And what is the attraction of chemical parks for Vopak? I think of Vopak as being a terminals company.
That's true, but over the years we have developed into a very nice product for us, which is actually an integrator in chemical parks. So that means that you have all the feedstock for the producing factories there going through your tanks. Nobody needs to invest in the jetty infrastructure or in the tankage infrastructure. We will do that for them. And we also take their products and transfer them to another factory or export them out as a distribution point. And then we have their long-term contracts, and they don't need to invest in all the infrastructure, which you then can share over the other users of the park, which is a very good economical solution for all the players involved there.
And one of the more recent developments has been the growth of biofuels. Now that must be quite important for Vopak.
Yes, that's a very big growth market, although it's still a very much subsidized world, so you see that it's, the flows are fluctuating. But for us it has an impact firstly on all the products being moved all over the world, because you see that new biofuels production centers are all set up on the feedstock side of the chain or in the consuming markets, and that's where we have our terminals. So we want to have these flows going through our terminals, and we see that there's an enormous impact. Over the last year it was around 8 million tons only through Rotterdam, which were additional, and we were able to really capture most of that market. And the second part is really, if we have terminals there, that if a biofuels plant is being produced, again, like in the chemical clusters, they don't want to invest in the tanks, because that's quite a considerable amount. So they build these factories next to our facilities, and then we will be able to supply long-term the services to them by using our tanks and connecting it up to our tank terminals.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.